Hello and welcome to Sparta. Welcome to my review. This is going to be my review of the Cold Steel Spartan. Okay, I'll try and refrain from as many Spartan jokes as possible and comments, but here we go. Okay, I'm gonna break off with some specifications first of all, some stats. The overall length open of this monster of a pocket knife is 10.4 inches or 26.2 centimeters. The blade length is 4.3 inches or 11.1 centimeters. The cutting edge is slightly smaller at 4 inches or 10.4 centimeters, and the weight is a whopping 9.12 ounces or 258.5 grams. Oh yes, it's a monster. So get ready for the large click. Sorry if that deafened you. It's a very, very strong lock on this knife. Okay, talk about the handle scales first of all. Okay, the handle scales, they call it a Grivory handle scales. It's just a type of thermoplastic, really. I think the official name is polyphthalamide. So yeah, it's a type of thermoplastic synthetic resin. Grip wise, the actual material. It's medium to low grip, not an awful lot of grip really. However, the cutouts definitely give you more of a grip. Okay. Now the design kind of view they've gone for with this one is they've gone for the kind of like Spartan 300 kind of style. It's basically a folding coppice blade design. Okay, that's the kind of blade shape. You've seen films, things like that. The recurve blade is very, very efficient for chopping motions. You can strike arms and legs off if you really need to. It's got this big belly. Okay, have you seen my unboxing? It came really sharp, so sharp I had to do a cut test mid unboxing really. Okay, but anyway, the handle scales, Grivory, long, very nice. Pocket clip is only tip up carry. But it is reversible. It's quite a small pocket clip really for such a huge knife, heavy knife. Okay, the cutouts, okay, they do help with the grip. Okay, so without them it would be quite slippery. It's worth mentioning about the handle scales that the pivot screw, you can mess with that. But then there's these two pins, which I assume house the lock in, and then there are these torque screws at the bottom, which I suppose you can mess around with, and you can change the pocket clip, of course. Now, deployment of this knife, you can use the thumb disc. It's ambidextrous. Okay, you can't really deploy it that quick because it's so strong. I mean, you can mess around with the triad lock and get it a bit looser, I suppose, but I wouldn't really. But anyway, you can't deploy it that quick, but then once it is deployed, it's not going anywhere. This triad lock by Cold Steel, they've done many tests with it. They've jabbed it into wood and then deployed it, and I've seen fully grown men monkey swing across each knife, and so it can withstand an awful lot of overstrike, spine stress. I mean, it really does. It's almost the key word with Cold Steel is almost. Okay, almost impervious to stress, strain, and stroke. Okay, almost this, almost that. But the knife itself, very nice knife to hold in the hands ergonomically. Okay, I've got large hands, and it just about holds my hand quite well. Okay, just about. Any smaller, and I'd have some problems with those sausages in there, but that's fine. Jimping, there's this kind of small little, can you see those cutouts? For me, I don't know whether that's the design or something, but they don't do anything for me, and there's nothing on the spine of the blade either. Okay, now it's worth mentioning about this thumb disc that because of the way it is, you can, once it's in your pocket, you can snag it on the side of your pocket, and that will deploy the knife in one withdraw motion, okay, which could be very handy if you're using it for a, I don't like to use the word defensive role, but there we go. It's basically form over function, okay, but it has a lot of function. I mean, it looks intimidating. It is intimidating. It came very sharp, scary sharp, and however, chopping motions, it would really do some damage, I suppose, to anything really. Okay. Now let's talk about the blade steel. Blade steel is obviously the Japanese OS 8A steel. In my experience, it's all right, but please don't bead blast it. And here we have it. I think bead blasted or heat treated or something. There have been stories of them rusting, so just always keep an eye out. WD-40 every night before you go to bed, that kind of thing. But there we go. It's an okay blade steel. It gets very sharp, and this particular one that they use is very hard as well. I've seen them smash through car bonnets with it and things as well. So yeah, there we go. Anyway, so that's that. What else I look at? Yeah, that's I've done cut tests and things. The spine, it's kind of like it tapers to a point. It's quite a thick, heavy blade. What I would do is do some comparison shots. Okay. Now, before I talk about comparison shots, actually, it's worth mentioning that they are full steel liners in there. Okay, full steel liners. They're not skeletonized. That adds to the weight. I wish they were. Perhaps they're not, to increase the strength of the plastic resin that they use for the handles. But again, that adds to the weight, and I wish that they were skeletonized because it's a heavy knife. Let's do some comparison shots then. Okay, with the Spyderco Tenacious. Most people have one of these. It completely dwarfs it. I think the blade is as long as the handle, but it's worth noting that. And then why I just will the UK PK. It's yeah, obviously it dwarfs that. And then to give the people that aren't really into that many knives and we're thinking, oh right, I'll buy one knife for defence purposes or whatever, and that will be it, that will be left in a drawer somewhere, then we'll just compare it with a little pen knife. Okay. So yeah, it dwarfs a pen knife really. Okay. Probably one of the best comparisons I could think of was with Spyderco's offering the Spyderco Military. Okay, I mean, it's more than half the weight less than the Spartan, but they're similar sizes in terms of blade length and handle length. I mean, but of course, undoubtedly, biasly, I'd say that this one would be more useful for most tasks. But there you go. It's a comparison of the styles and the shapes and things. But of course, the weight and the money, you're paying an awful lot more as well for a military. But better steel. Anyway, so they're the comparisons. That's kind of like the larger comparison I could see, and that's one of Spyderco's largest knives, you see. So you know, for one of Spyderco's largest knives, and for Cold Steel's kind of medium knife, it's not really a very large knife in Cold Steel's books. That just goes to show you that it's still a large knife on its own. Okay, so that's basically all I can really say about this. It's one of these will set you back about £75. It's a lot of money, but I do think you get what you pay for. You get a lot of materials. It's heavy. It feels solid. That lock just feels very solid. Other than the quick deployment, which I think is a moot point anyway, because if you're withdrawing it from your pocket, it will be deployed anyway. When you take it out of your pocket, you won't need to fumble about with a hole or anything like that. It will just be open. It'll be deployed. So that's a bit of a moot point. But for your money, £75, I do think that's it. I think Americans, they do get a very good deal for $50 or $40 something. Very good deal there, because it's just over here. I think 75 is a little bit pricey for made in Taiwan OS 8A steel. but there you have it. If you really like that, if you really like the shape and the style, and you want to just keep an eye out for rust, but you want a very sharp kind of blade, good for chopping, then this might be for you. Okay. Anyway, that was my review of the Cold Steel Spartan, and please do. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please do comment, rate, and subscribe, and I really do appreciate it. Okay, and thanks for watching. Take care.